Hello everyone, I'm Sean.
This is Hoon.
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another series review.
Yes.
So this time...
call this a series.
Yeah, whatever the hell this is. This time we're covering Silent Hill Ascension.
Yes.
A series that should not have existed.
It lives in infamy.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So what is Silent Hill Ascension?
So Silent Hill Ascension is something made by what's-his-face, the guy who made J.J. Abrams.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams is like foray into interactive movie TV series, I guess you can say.
Question mark.
Yeah. Which actually that actually true, because they did have it on like the Silent Hill transmission. They had J.J. Abrams like at least say something about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a weird thing. It was like on Twitch. So what people did was you can like sign in to watch these episodes every week, I guess, or maybe every. I don't even know. We watched this on Tubi, so
right.
This was done by the time it was over with.
Yeah, it started like in November or October or something, and it ended I think in May.
In May, so it's all computer generated, and I believe you have like choices of what happens to the characters in the movie, like in or wherever the show. So, like, let's say you have one person, you can be like, this person will either die or live. Which I guess they have millions of possibilities because there's, I guess one thing would change the outcome of someone else or something along those lines.
Right.
Because a couple characters that died in here, and I'm assuming some of the choices were that they were, like, going to be alive if you chose them to be alive. Namely, one of the characters' name is Toby, and he's like the drunk type of character. He dies in the show, but I'm assuming that was a choice. You could probably keep him alive if you wanted to.
Probably.
So it's like in the basic joke. But the only problem with this thing is I know there was a lot of issues when it came out. So there were a lot of technical issues. Mm-hmm. So either AI didn't work, or I don't know. They didn't say it had AI, but it definitely felt like it was AI.
It better have had AI.
Yeah.
Because if not,
our society is doomed.
The world's worst writing team.
Yeah. And they had to pay for stuff to like. It's like it had a battle pass in a TV show.
Yeah.
So right there, you're already knowing that it's something that's like, okay, this is a little bit of a
right. And we watched, like you said, this on Tubi after it was all finished.
Yeah. And
the QR code is still in the corner of every video.
Yeah.
They couldn't even bother to remove that.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's quality control there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Even like some of the writing, I know we watched it with subtitles, and there was multiple times when the thing wasn't even like spelt correctly, or something was like just mistranslated, or some animations, like, because it has Toby again. Our friend, like one of the best characters in the show, actually. I actually like Toby.
The only relatable character.
Yeah.
He has a drinking problem.
Yeah, he's literally like drinking.
Yeah.
Like just, the bottle is like not even in his mouth, and the liquid's just going down his chest, and it looks really weird. He's like, oh fuck!
Yeah,
just like drinking
pouring it down his shirt. It's like, what the hell?
But obviously, it wasn't done right. Like the animation wasn't done right, but it looked really funny, actually.
They just let stuff go.
Yeah,
and then they must have had a character creation option or some shit, because, like, a couple episodes in, all these bearded ladies start coming in.
Yeah,
there's a police officer. Is like a black woman in Norway who's a police officer, and she has blonde hair and a beard. Yeah,
that has happened multiple times.
And multiple characters showed up with like bearded women.
Yeah, and I have a feeling it changed after a while, because it's like,
well, they dropped all those people after like 10 episodes.
Yeah, because I think either they thought it was like, this is getting ridiculous, or maybe it was getting like almost insulting at the point or something like that. Because it's like, obviously the people doing it probably were trolls. So
right,
because the way it worked, I guess
Hideo Kojima showed up.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima showed up one time. He was like a police officer or something.
Yeah, or
so they're going to the morgue, and the dead body on the actual table had like shaders, like sunglasses on. It was like shades on. Yeah, like obviously they're dead. So it's like, why would they have shades on in the middle of this morgue? Because the one characters.
There was a guy in the final episode, shades on at night.
Yeah, I know that he like got killed by a dog. He probably thought it was a real dog. But Aster like works at like a morgue or whatever. Actually, that was another thing that happened. Aster's like one of the main characters in Norway.
Yeah.
She looks into a microscope and is like, "This is morphine." It's like, how do you see morphine through a microscope? But that's the type of quality writing you're getting from this show here.
Yeah.
But
yeah, don't do a drug analysis. Just look at it through a microscope.
Yeah, look at your drug analysis through a microscope, and you'll find out it's morphine or any type of drug.
Nice.
But like I said, the way they had that work though, with the way you're getting like the bearded woman or like your character to come in, or I guess there's a couple times where there was one time it actually showed up and said it was like Solid Snake was in this episode, but I think they must have showed it every time, but they must have had one episode they forgot to take it out. Because there was one time it did show it up, but every other episode it didn't show anything.
Yeah.
But I guess the way they had it work is when you buy that battle pass, you actually get these things called influencer points, and that's how you make your like decisions. So you're basically paying to make the decision of what happened in the show.
Right.
Which is like either very genius or just like the most scumbag thing you could possibly do as a company to make a TV show. I don't know. At least to me. Yeah, at least to me it feels like it's very it's a little bit gray.
Yeah.
And hopefully since this did so bad, maybe they won't do it ever again, but who knows? It almost makes it seem like there's like a second season coming, but
there better not be.
Yeah, it's like I can't imagine people wanted to do it, because just looking at the like the Reddit or something about it, there was a lot of people complaining about the advertisements in the show, or like just like dialogue was a big one. A lot of people hated the dialogue in the show, which it is really bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's like
the rating as a television show. Its rating on IMDb is a 2.2.
Yeah,
which puts it like on the level of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians or something.
Gosh.
Like it's like up there with some of the worst things ever made.
Yeah, and this coming from Silent Hill, which
once was a prestigious name.
Yeah, it's almost like a joke.
Yeah, who knows if it'll ever get to that level again.
Yeah, because the way Silent Hill worked after Silent Hill 4 and 5 and I guess 6, Downpour, was really like the last game that was like the big one.
Yeah.
Basically, Konami went into like exile in the gaming industry, I guess. They didn't want to make any games anymore.
They just want to make pachinko
games. They did a lot of pachinko stuff, and also they did stuff with like prosthetics for like medical.
Just random stuff.
Yeah.
Like whatever they could get into.
So I think lately Konami's been trying to get back into games, because they actually have like a gaming division again. I have an inkling the reason why is because pachinko is really like not as popular in Japan as it used to be.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. Also, Capcom started knocking it out of the park with all their remakes, and Konami was always Capcom's like rival.
Yeah, and I guess, like I said, Silent Hill is one of the major franchises they're following, and also Metal Gear Solid was another one, which is kind of a weird thing to see when Konami used to be a very prestigious like gaming thing.
Yeah,
because they had a bunch of good games, but then they just kind of like stopped, I guess. Actually, a lot of arcade stuff used to be a Konami, because they used to make like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was also Konami. Arcades, a lot of them were Konami. A lot of the major arcades that ever made were made by Konami. So yeah, it's like a pretty prestigious company that kind of fell from grace or something.
It fell hard.
Yeah, it went into this show. But I guess the only thing I guess you would say, like, with the way this interactive movie thing is, do you think it'd ever make a comeback with that thing? Like, would anyone ever make another show like this, or maybe even try to attempt to do this? Maybe do it better?
I hope not, but but somebody probably will attempt to do it. But one thing I would say that would they need to create some kind of damage control for this in the future. Like, if you're going to do this with create a character option, instead of letting people do whatever they want. Yeah. Because the problem with this show is it has no control over its audience.
Yeah.
It became Bodie McBoatface the series. Yeah. Like, and if you don't know what that is, scientists were like looking for a name to call their research vessel or something, and the most voted on name was Bodie McBoatface, because that's the way the internet is. Yeah. So what you need to do, instead of just letting people create bearded ladies or whatever, you need to create like maybe 3 or 4 character models pre-rendered and be like, you can pick which one you want. Like something like that. So you can have some options, but you don't have complete and total control. Yeah. Because you can't trust your audience. Yeah. Like, this proves it.
Yeah, this proves it for sure. Like, how many people can you see bearded women around, I guess?
You need to make sure that they can't make ridiculous, stupid decisions. Yeah. And or plot points, I don't know how much of the story they had control over, but the plot makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just all over the place.
And they say, like I said, they said they had a writing team for this show. And if that's the case, and they said that actually, I think I did read somewhere that I guess the writers for this were actually like God of War writers and stuff, like actually like prestigious games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What are they like? I guess they were the people that got fired. Maybe I don't know. Like I don't know. It's like
either that or too much of the story was up to the audience.
Yeah, it's very jarring.
And they had to kind of write around what was chosen.
Yeah,
like that could have been an issue. I don't know.
And I'm not sure how quickly episodes and stuff were made. Like, I don't know how this was, like, procedurally generated or something. I don't know, maybe they did it, like, 1 week and you made your votes for, like, the next week? It
probably was weekly. It had to be weekly. Because it went from November to May.
Yeah.
And there's 21 episodes.
Yeah, that's...
Which is way too much, too.
That is really weird.
Because there was a lot of meandering bullshit. Like, especially in the middle. Where nothing made any sense. Every episode just dragged along.
Yeah. And there's a reason why we're kind of delaying the actual show, because talking about something being nonsensical, something that it's really hard to follow, is this show specifically.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good segue into the actual show.
What is this show about?
Okay, so
the discourse around what the show is more interesting than the show itself. But
the show itself is very mediocre. It's not good.
Yeah.
And like I say, what it does, the way the show is set up, since you have two families, you have one family in I think Hope's Junction, PA.
Yeah, which is in Erie County.
Yeah, Erie County. And the other family's in Stildalen, Norway.
Yeah.
Which they don't have any connection with each other. Until, like, later on the show.
Until they randomly do.
Yeah, until they randomly do. Yeah. So, they both have traumatic incidents with both of them. So, you have, like, the Stildalen family. The way their trauma is, like, their family is run by, like, I guess... The very beginning scene is, like, basically the family getting berated by the mother that's, like, sick or something like that.
Mm.
And then she just, like, mysteriously dies. Because, like, the father kind of sees, like, something out in the... like yard or something, and goes out and then comes back, she's dead. But the basic gist of the family was the mother was very abusive to the family. The father was kind of like, he was there, but he was just kind of like whatever, he just let it happen.
Yeah.
But the major problem was, like, the one sister named Britt, she actually was like, she's like a drug addict, like a junkie. And the other sister is like the older sister. Apparently, she shot up a bunch of places that Britt kind of had everyone come to this town square or something like that. I guess a town square full of drug dealers. I don't understand it, because they talk about how she had him come in because she was a junkie and needed her, like, drugs. So it must have just been a bazaar for drug dealers.
In the middle of, like, rural
Norway.
Okay.
And then the daughter, which I don't know her name. Let me try to find it.
The main?
Eva.
Okay, yeah, Eva.
So Eva apparently shot them all up. She went over there and basically did like a school shooting type of thing and just shot all the people up.
Mm-hmm.
And killed a bunch of people. Basically, the family's shunned. Like, everyone in town just hates them. They just come by to her house just to throw rocks at their windows. Or, like, just to go and just, like, yell how you're a piece of shit and stuff all the time to, like, the family for no reason.
Right.
Because they don't like them. And I guess, like I said, the father's very, like, distant. He doesn't care.
And apparently the police did nothing.
Yeah, police did nothing.
About this shooting.
Yeah, and then you find out, like, I guess, later on. And Astrid's, like, their main character here. Like, she's the main person you follow.
Right.
That has a son named Orson.
It looks like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill.
Yeah, she looks like Bobby Hill. And then, that's basically kind of the gist of the Norwegian family.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Uri family. You follow a family with Rachel and Eric, and her like daughter Faith. I guess Rachel and Eric both worked at like a steel mill or whatever. And I also have another character named Toby, which is like the friend.
Yeah,
he's like a drunk. So there was like an accident at the steel mill where a lot of people died. Toby apparently was like drunk off his mind or something like that the one time. He's like just like at his terminal, just like passed out, I guess, while this accident was happening. And then Eric came and just pressed a bunch of buttons on the machine to try to stop it, but then it just made it worse. But then he let Toby believe that he killed everyone, type of thing. It's like one of those type of things.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, and Rachel, the reason why Rachel had the trauma, I guess, with that is because she was like, she must have worked for the steel mill or something like that, but I guess they were going to buy the steel mill because it was like going under, I think, or something like that.
I think, yeah.
And then she locked the door with everyone in it.
We gotta emphasize think, because this show's like so difficult to follow what's going on. We didn't take a lot of notes while we were watching it.
Yeah, it probably took how long?
It took like 2 months to finish this.
Yeah, and then, like I said, there's a reason why. So, like I said, the steel mill is going like bankrupt. So she was making people work overtime, like a black company or something like that.
Yeah,
by locking the doors. So this accident was happening, and a bunch of people died. And then basically that's the gist of that. But then Rachel and Eric both joined like this religious group, or something like that. It's called the Foundation. And like the very first scene of the show is Rachel's having this ritual with someone named Joy, which is a sister of Toby. And I guess she dies at the Foundation, and I don't even know what they do to her body. They just literally she just died. And no one cared, even Toby didn't know, but then he kept seeing her back in like his like dreams or something. His drunken stupor.
His restless dreams.
Yeah, he would see her like walking around and be like, the Foundation's horrible, that type of stuff. It was it's like I said, it's really hard to follow along. And I guess with the way the Foundation is, they follow the book of Daniel Radcliffe, which they talk about something called the Withering.
Yeah.
And the Withering is basically the Silent Hill world coming into the actual world.
As far as we know.
Yeah, so far as we know. We have, like, a bunch of monsters will start showing up. And that's actually, like, after all these traumatic incidents happen, they start showing up in the world, and people are starting to get, like, attacked and stuff like that. And let me think. And then you have, like, a character named Xavier, which is, like, he's, like, the head of the church. I don't know. It's like, this is, like, when it gets very muddy. So, like, we're basically talking about all, like, the plot points and stuff, but it gets very muddy because it's, like, it takes so long to get to the point, it gets kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, there's some about sex ritual.
Yeah, there was like a sex ritual, and they said that Eric apparently needed to join because of the Withering, and because someone caused the Withering, and they don't know who did it, so Toby kills himself at one point, because they're like, you need to do the Daniel Radcliffe ritual, which will kill yourself.
Yeah, he kills himself. Was it Eric and Xavier perform the sex ritual? Yeah. Which requires Xavier to wear a goat mask. Yeah. And missionary style fuck another guy
with
fully clothed.
Fully clothed. Yeah, that happened.
So figure that out.
Yeah, that happened. But it was like, the bad thing is, like, this is all computer generated, so it's like bad computer generation.
Yeah.
So it looks really bad.
Like, the writers of the AI or something doesn't even know how
humans
reproduction works.
Have sex, I guess.
Or how would you even have a sex ritual if you don't understand how sex works?
Yeah, and then you have all the other congregant members are just standing next to around this table, like,
yeah, they all sit around and watch. They're just like,
yeah, they're like clapping. It's like really, it's like so really bizarre. Yeah, it's really bizarre. It's like the
weirdest shit. And then what happened? Oh, what's her face? The main woman from Erie.
Rachel.
She cuts her eyeball out for some reason.
Because there's a point where, like, the linkage between the two families is the kids.
Yeah.
Because I guess later on you find out there is an anti-cult. It's like another cult that's against this cult.
They follow the books of J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, they follow the books of J.K. Rowling and their transphobia.
Yeah.
But they follow that cult, and they want the Withering to happen. So they want the Silent Hill world to come into their world because they think that it will bring them redemption.
They're also connected to the Barna Varna.
Yeah, the Barna Varna,
which is Norwegian Child Services.
Yeah, because they show the one lady's like, "I'm from the Barna Varna to take your kid," basically.
This show says Barna Varna so many goddamn times.
But they're like sisters. So one was in Norway and the other one's in there. So like the way the plot works is like if there is a plot,
if you can call it a plot,
is like Orson, like they have like a funeral for the Norwegian family because one of the I don't remember who died. Someone died, and Orson disappears, which is the son, like the kid.
Yeah, Bobby Hill, which is then you find out the Barn of Honor took him. Yeah, and then Faith, which is the daughter of Rachel and Eric. She just disappears one day. Like, just disappears. I don't even know how that even happened. It just happens. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to keep track of your kids after you cut your eye out.
And in the book of Daniel Radcliffe, one of the rituals is to find your kid, you got to cut your eye out.
Yeah. She cuts her eyeball out of her head with, like, a rusty butter knife.
Yeah.
And then she just walks around town for, like, a day with this gaping wound in her eye socket, like, not getting any medical care.
Yeah, and it's like, what is going on?
And then later, she finally goes home and she sticks, like, a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah. After it's probably had, like, infections, like really badly.
Yeah, and then she just wears that Band-Aid over her eye for the rest of the show. Like, you know there's maggots in there.
Yeah, like, I'm assuming that was a choice people could
That was a choice, alright.
Yeah, but it was like, it was very bizarre. Like, it looked so weird. Like, it literally had someone with, like, you could always tell where the eye was supposed to be at, and it had, like, just a I don't know, a texture over top of it. Like a skin, wet flesh room texture over top of it.
Right, it looked like a
really
bad,
strange.
Like, Spirit Halloween effect.
Yeah, it was not good. But then you also have that. Basically, it goes back and forth between the Silent Hill world. Like Rachel or Eric, they gotta go back and forth in the world, and then Rachel and Astrid actually meet up to each other one day. They talk to each other a couple times. Like sometimes it'll be a mid sentence, and then one person just run away. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's rude. And actually, the Silent Hill world. The funny part of the Silent Hill world is like in most Silent Hill games, you have Silent Hill is like a town, specifically a town that has like another world plus the actual main reality.
Like a parallel reality of the town you're in.
This one, you can kind of go everywhere, and I guess Silent Hill world just everywhere at this point. Which I think that's what they said, that they wanted to make, at least with the Silent Transmission, they're kind of changing the narrative of how Silent Hill is. It's kind of Silent Hill is just like
everything.
Yeah, like a parallel universe.
Right. There's like a Japanese Silent Hill. Yeah. There's like a British Silent Hill.
And the Norwegian Silent Hill has pitchforks and sickles.
Yeah, like what the hell? Every time they go into Norwegian Silent Hill, they're just rusty farm implements sticking up out of the ground. Everywhere. Yeah,
it's like it's really bizarre looking. It's like, this doesn't look like Silent Hill.
No, it's stupid.
And it's like, it's really strange. It's very bizarre. And I guess, I mean, that's really pretty much the gist of what happens. It's, like I said, it's really hard to, like, follow. But by the end, you have, like, you actually have another character that shows up. I don't even know his name. He's, like, all I know is, I just call him Chris Angel, because he looks like Chris Angel.
Oh, yeah, Mind Freak. I don't know where.
I don't know what his deal
he just shows up towards the end.
He's, like, he comes in, I think it was quote, it was, like, "You guys are the keys. You can't push too hard because it opens some more locks. But the locks of the doors need to be open. But if you push too hard, the locks will open even more, which will cause more problems." And that was the actual conversation.
Okay.
No one knew what he was talking about.
Nice.
And he just walks away.
Yeah.
And I guess he's basically talking about some guy. And I guess there's like a monster that's in the Silent Hill world called the Collector. Mm-hmm. And every time, like, someone dies, he takes, like, their finger or something and makes a key that doesn't explain where he goes and what the whole point of that is.
Yeah, this is the bullshit ending that made it look like there was going to be another season, because there's 5 keyholes or something, and there's only 2 keys.
Yeah, because, like I said, Toby killed himself because he thought he was causing the withering, and Xavier, which is one, like, the leader, said that you have to kill yourself, basically, to cause the withering to end, but it doesn't. Because it's not the problem.
Yeah, because nothing anybody says is true.
Like, everything is a lie in this show. Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, the Collector comes and takes his hand, and I guess, this is where it says that Eric is redeemed. How Eric is redeemed.
Yeah, please explain Eric's redemption.
Yeah, so
wait, the character before Eric's redeemed, there was somebody else who actually was redeemed.
Oh, yeah, Britt. Britt's redeemed because there's like a plot line where Britt's trying to get into like the AA meeting, but everyone there hates her because she's like part of the Johansson family. And they're always like, get out of here because you shot a bunch of people. Like, your family shot a bunch of people, so you specifically killed these people.
Yeah.
Like, she's redeemed because, like, she's just... She basically faces her demon. Like, there's a plot point where they have another version of Britt just walking around. And that's, like, her, like, drug side. Because after, like, she did her drugs or something, she got this other demon thing to show up. For some weird reason. And then she hugs it to death. She gives it the power of love.
She hugs it to death.
And then it transports her to the AA meeting where she can talk her to tell her story.
Yeah.
And then it says, Britt is redeemed. And she's fine.
Britt like, okay. Okay, yeah, so it says Britt is redeemed, so we're thinking if it says you're redeemed, it basically shows up like achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
There's a screen, waters across the screen saying Britt is redeemed.
Yeah, then she gets taken out of the story. She's
right, later on they say they can't find her, they can't locate her. It's like she left the lobby.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then we get to Eric.
Yeah, Eric's, like, before I even get to this point, Eric's like, I don't love you, Rachel, anymore, because there's, like, a big plot point with him and another cultist member is, like, she's been trying to, like, hit on him this whole time.
Yeah.
And, like, trying to break the family apart. She's like, you don't love Rachel.
Right.
You be with me.
And let's remind the viewers that Rachel's the one that dug her eye out of her
Yeah, she's
head.
the one who dug her eye out. It's like, no wonder we don't.
She might not be the most stable person.
But he's like, I kind of don't like love you anymore. After we find Faith, our daughter, I might just leave you or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he gets transported to another world. Like, he gets transferred to the Silent Hill world, where he gets, like... where he's, like, getting attacked by this monster. Mm-hmm. It says, Eric is redeemed. The monster, like, picks... Actually, it basically has a flashback to where he's, like, talking to Toby, because he basically... His guilt trip is that he made Toby believe that he killed all those people, even though it really wasn't him.
Right.
Technically, kind of was. He was falling asleep on the job. But whatever. He was the monster, but trying to save all those people, I guess. That's the moral of the story.
Pretty much.
But then, like, Toby just chokes him out, and then it turns into the monster. And it says, Eric is redeemed, and the monster, like, fucks him?
Yeah, basically. It creates a bunch, like, penis tentacles come out of its vagina.
Yeah.
And then it strangles him, shoves it down his throat, and breaks his neck.
Yeah.
And then it says Eric
is redeemed. And he shows his dead body in the front, and his, like, daughter is staring in the background, like, smirking. It's, like, really weird. Eric is redeemed by just dying.
Nice.
So the collector got another finger to take, I guess.
Yeah.
So he got 2 fingers here. And then it goes into, like... Then it goes into the Astrid, which... Astrid's story was that, I guess her demon was that she basically killed her older sister with her mother. Because her mother was like, you're a monster because you killed all those people, which makes sense. I mean, he did do a mass shooting.
Yeah, and apparently the police never arrested her.
Yeah, police never arrested her. So their brilliant idea was, I'm going to go down to the woods and pick some wild berries or wolfbane or something, which is poisonous.
Yeah.
And put in her tea and then have her drink it. And then they just incinerate her in the backyard and then put her bones in, like, the ground. That's her story. And apparently it redeemed her by... I don't know. I don't understand why.
She was redeemed, but it's kind of, like, questionable.
Yeah, because it's like...
Because the next thing we see, she's in her home with her family, but some of those family members are dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, this isn't real.
Yeah, and she, like, looks out the window and it turns into, like, the Silent Hill world, like the red Silent Hill
Everything
world.
turns all red, yeah.
And then Rachel's was, like, everyone in her family's, like, dead.
Except for Faith.
Yeah, except for Faith. And they're like, we gotta live together, and she's like, oh, you don't remember anything? Because there was, like, a plot point before where Faith was kind of, like, controlling monsters and stuff like that. Which I don't understand what was happening
That
there
didn't go
either.
anywhere, yeah.
But she just goes outside with her, and this is where the game glitches, because it looks like they're in the, like, I don't know, like the UFO ending from the game.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what
think
was going on.
they unlocked the UFO ending because there's just a light from the sky shining in front of the door.
Yeah.
And they got abducted. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, and then they just walk outside, and then the like you can see through the cracks of the door that's like a red sky starts happening. And that was the very last scene of the show, I guess.
Cool.
It was, but like I said, just how rambling we just did with our review here.
Yeah, that's what the show is.
Yeah, we probably had made more coherence than the actual show.
Well, yeah, because we wrapped it up in like a 10-minute explanation or 20-minute explanation. The show does what we just did over the course of 21 45-minute plus episodes.
Yes.
Like, these episodes are longer than, like, a Disney show.
Yeah. It is bad. Like, it is not good.
Yeah, this is atrocious.
I'm surprised they haven't got a 2 point whatever on IMDb,
2.2, yeah.
It should be, like, 1, because that's how bad it is.
Yeah, it is possibly the worst thing I've seen.
Because, I mean, if they were to focus on one family, and maybe not do the thing where every 5 minutes was a switch between the Norwegian family and, like, the Pennsylvanian family, it might have worked a little bit better.
It needed to get more focused. Yeah. It was way too disjointed.
Yeah, and that's the only thing is, like, if this would ever happen again, I don't know if that's, maybe if they did just one family and just followed their journey, like, I mean, that's an interesting topic with the family that has to deal with, like, another family member that killed a bunch of people because they're, like, a mass murder, which that happens quite a bit.
More often in the U.S. than in Norway, but there was that mass shooting in Norway like years ago.
Yeah,
but
which they probably got rid of their guns after that.
Well, that's another thing. It's funny too because when the Silent Hill creatures show up, like the whole town shows up with guns.
Yeah, I know. Like in Norway, just have like AK-47s.
Everybody has
like pistols and stuff.
Everybody in Norway has pistols and shotguns and.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that's how that is, but
it's like okay, the whole town's armed immediately.
Yeah, and it's like if they were to just maybe follow one family and be like a little bit more focused, it might have been good.
It would have been better.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was been good, but
maybe shorten the episodes instead of 24 episodes or whatever it is. Maybe shorten it down to like 12.
Yeah, this thing was way too ambitious for what it was capable of doing. And it shows.
And I think I know the reason why. It's because they were doing the battle pass, and they probably wanted people to spend money.
Well, they wanted to have as much content as possible to keep people going. Because I think this was like a daily thing or some bullshit, and then it got cropped into week episodes.
Yeah.
Week
daily. I can't imagine daily on this thing.
Week episodes.
Oh my.
7 days, and also WEAK.
Yeah, got them both.
But, it's... I just remember it was one streamer that we watched quite a bit.
Yeah.
She was streaming this live the first day. It was a shit show. Like, nothing worked.
Yeah.
And the website kept crashing. And I don't know if it got better over time. I assume it did.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere it actually did get better over... Like, they actually... I think they stopped doing the daily thing and they went from the weekly. I think it got better because they probably fixed a lot of the issues or whatever.
Yeah, because I think in order to achieve anything, you had to do, like, mini-games and, like, all this other bullshit, and then you got, like, a little 5-minute clip or something.
And I guess you could lose. Isn't there, like, a picture online that said the community had lost or something? It was like,
well, that's what happened.
Yeah, it was like...
the community lost.
The community has lost.
Because this was created.
But I think I remember seeing something like that.
No matter who wins, we lose.
Yeah, so it's like... The only bad thing is, like, this show would be something that could almost damage the Silent Hill legacy more than it is.
Well, it says on the stupid thing that it's like, you could permanently change the canon or whatever. Yeah. It's like, or what? This is real? Like, actually canon?
That would be the very end of, like, the show, and it's like... I know they wanted to do, like, a New Game Plus in it.
This better be, like, one of those things that was initially canon and then they decanonized down the road.
Because, like, if you look at the actual people that made it, there's like 8 studios that are working on this thing.
Yeah.
You have, like, Alien Brothel, Genvid, and a couple other ones. It's like Screwball. I don't know. It's like, I don't know what other. It's like, it's not.
Yeah, that's another problem, too. You have way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. It definitely seems like it's very ambitious, but at the same time,
it's ambitious for what they're capable of doing.
They really needed to scale it down.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be, like, this massive project for your first try.
Especially when something like this allegedly has never been done before.
Yeah.
It's like...
Because Because I'm all for doing new things with like entertainment, but
right.
when you do it bad, then it just ruins it forever.
Yeah, that whole format is tainted now.
Yeah.
But that format was always going to be tainted because the second I explained this to some other people that hadn't watched it, as soon as I said there was player choice, they were like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Like, they should know that people are going to automatically pick the stupidest option possible.
It's like they've never been on the internet.
Yeah.
Even though they claim that, I have a feeling when they did this show on Tubi, they purposely did like a specific options that were like good options.
Mm.
Because they said that, like, 95% of the time, people are going to pick the good option. They will never be, like, the bad option. Because I guess they did have a thing where people could choose that everyone just dies.
Yeah.
Which is, like, considered, like, the bad ending or whatever. But they have stuff in there to be like, okay, that it won't happen that way. But it's like...
But almost everybody died at the end.
Except, like, the main characters. Probably because they couldn't allow them. It's like, the way the internet is, normally if it's a bad choice, it's the choice they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know why they were like, oh, they'll choose the good choice. Since when?
Yes, that's when on these. Like, have you been on the internet? It's like, just go to, like, 4chan or whatever. I mean,
yeah.
They're saying the mix bleach and ammonia together, and it makes like an aromatherapy or something.
Yeah, it's like they're not going to give you the good answers for anything.
They're going to give you the bad answers every time.
And that's why you get rampant hirsutism in Silent Hill. Everyone has a beard.
Yes. So, like I said, hopefully they don't make another one of these, because this is not good. Or maybe if they were to seriously do it, maybe they really need to look and see what they do. Like, maybe a better option of how to do this. But maybe a better writing team?
Yeah, if they ever do something like this again, I would say, like I said before, you need to make this less options.
Yeah.
More, like, vetted options. Like, you need to choose the writing team has to choose the possible options.
Yeah.
Don't leave it up to just anyone to come up with. Don't give us a million options.
Yeah.
Give us like 4 options.
4 options that they can realistically do in the next episode.
Like a Silent Hill game. You have how many different endings possible in Silent Hill? You don't have 10 million ending choices. You have like 10. You have like 5. 4, or whatever.
And some of them are good and some of them are bad.
Yeah.
Even have the UFO ending. If they wanted to put that in, put a UFO ending in there. Which that's probably what most people want to do anyways. But
yeah, it's going to be the stupidest ending possible is what people are going to choose.
Yeah.
That's why the UFO ending is like the most prestigious ending to get with players.
Yeah, because you have to beat the game to actually even get the UFO.
Yeah, because it's a harder one to get and it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's the one everybody wants to get.
Yeah, because you have like a corgi controlling James and stuff like that.
Yeah. The Shiba Inu. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, like I said, I would avoid this. We watch this.
You don't watch this. Unless somebody has to see everything that's ever been made in the history of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Or
if you hate yourself.
If
you're dead inside and hate yourself.
You
might watch this.
You can watch it on Tubi.
Yeah, you can watch it on Tubi. Hopefully Tubi just
deletes it.
Takes the whole server that thing's on and just destroys that server.
Just take an axe to the whole server.
Throw it in the ocean. So no one will find it ever again. And then find the guy who made it and slap in the face because that was bad. I don't know. No, don't do that. That's a joke, by the way.
You aren't slapping people.
Yeah, we're not.
But you can destroy this.
Yeah, destroy this so no man, woman, child, alien, future civilization will see this.
Yeah.
Because they would probably just ruin themselves.
Nothing good can possibly come from it.
Yeah, because it's that bad.
Alright, so I think that's going to do it for our review of Silent Hill Ascension. Do not watch this shit.
No.
So if you did foolishly watch this, let us know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Like the video and consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. Hopefully not about a season 2 of this, because I'm not doing that.
No.
And you too could feel a strong swelling within. See ya.